Just doing a little bit of tidying up here so that all this stuff is not in my screen. Move this up a little bit. I'm gonna experiment a little bit after this live. See if I can't switch the way my camera is looking and have it pointing to my other direction. Anyway, it's all there. Today is coffee, chat, and a card. I am so excited for this day.
Are you live?
So we are on just a little bit early, but you pop in here. Let me know where you are watching from. Type any comments, questions, anything you might want to know about stamping or me or my darling daughter, Dorothy. Just type it in the comments and we will be happy to answer those questions today. I'm looking forward to having some people with me. We've got a really cute card sketch today. Simple to put together. I always say that, don't I? That it's simple. But really, when you think about it, they are simple. Don't mind this little black thing that's down here in the screen. That's my camera holder that I have to figure out how to get rid of. Check to make sure that I am live.
The mother is trying
Let me
to
turn down my volume. Don't need that. Let's see. Got that. Back out of this. Let's see where I am at. Let's see. How do I find me? Didn't have any problem yesterday. There I am. Just click on that. There we go. We are live. I'm excited. It is a gorgeous day at Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. This little button is in my way. It shows it's just in my way. But I can't do nothing about it. Oh well. It is 9:57. We have about 3 minutes before I begin our card sketch for today. Trying to move this out of that glare. That is my new light. It is an arch light that they use in salons, but it gives me the light that I need. I just wished I could do something about the glare on my glass mat. But we'll deal with it, right? I mean, I've seen other people and they have glares. So we're just waiting here. Don't see any messages. Hopefully, some people will come in and join us. This stuff's still in the way. That's our project. Oh, yes, this is the wonderful new catalog. I love it. We did a little walkthrough last night with it, answered some questions, gave my opinion on some of the cards, for whatever those are worth. No, I really do believe that the catalog is 100% better than last year's catalog. You can at least find things in it. At least I can find things better. All the punches are in one place. Then, of course, they have the online exclusives that you have to go online for. But they have our tools all in one place. And don't forget this grid paper, it is an essential because you can stamp off on it. And as you'll notice, I've got one this morning I'm working with on my glass mat. It takes down the glare, but I can also stamp on it. They have the returning favorites in one spot, maybe in a couple of spots, but they really do stand out now this year. And then they've got the new ones, and they're all denoted by the N in the little red dot or square box. I don't know if it's really red, it might be pink. So anyway, I really do like the layout of the catalog this year. It is, like I said, a really nice layout, and they give you lots of ideas on how to use the different papers
I'll
and
probably
dyes
look in
and
my
things.
catalog more.
Yes. I think I will probably do some tabs so that I can get to
Definitely.
certain things much easier without having to flip.
I think it's tab worthy this year.
I think so. And ladies, I love this paper. It is so beautiful. I really do. It's almost like I don't want to use it because it's
Don't
so
hoard
pretty.
paper.
But we're not hoarding. We're not gonna hoard. So, and I've worked with it just a little bit, just with the papers. I haven't really done much with the flowers and the motifs, but those are coming. And this paper, I love the pretty florals. It's just such bright, fun, happy paper. And sometimes we all need that. Hello, Patricia from Alabama. How are you this morning? I'm glad that you could join us. Grab a favorite beverage. Good morning, Anna. I'm glad that you are joining us this morning. I was just kind of killing some time looking at the catalog because sometimes you just can't get enough of it. And it is.
You can't when it's a good one.
No, when it's a great catalog, it is fun to just flip through it all the time. I love it, love it. So I got to change the way my computer is. It had a glare on it from my backlight, so I couldn't see things. So we're going to go just a few more seconds here and wait for some more people to join us. Tell me what y'all are drinking this morning. Have you had enough coffee? Are you still on your coffee or hot tea? I've started on my water. 3 cups of coffee this morning already, and that was 3. So 1 before my shower, 1 after my shower, and 1 while I was working over here in the studio. Let me know how my audio is doing today. I'm always concerned about that. Oh, Patricia is drinking Diet Coke. You know, for some reason, I could never get to Diet Coke. I don't know. I just never, diet sodas were just not my, I've lost myself.
Flavorful patio.
Yeah.
Palette.
Audio is great. Good. I'm so glad. You had a cup of coffee and now you're on water. Yeah, I got to start drinking more water. So, all right. Well, let me introduce myself for those that may be joining us that haven't commented. My name is Sue Sanders, aka Suzie Q. I live at Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, which is central Missouri, about 45 minutes from our capital city. It is beautiful out here today, and I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2001, January of 2001. I have been stamping, though, since 2015 and enjoying every minute of it. Let me tell you, ladies, if you have a chance to stamp with your daughter, do it. I was fortunate enough that I could stamp with my mom for 15 years or so, or a little over 15. And she passed away in February. And now I find myself, when I'm making a card, wishing that I could just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Mom, look at this card I made." But I know that she is happy that I'm continuing this. So I just mentioned that because today is Mother's Day. Not Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day weekend. Dorothy's over here tearing up because she misses her Grammy. But that's okay. This will be my first Mother's Day without her. And that's okay. I'm going to celebrate as if she was here. Good morning, Charlene. How are you? I've asked everybody to kind of comment what you're drinking this morning. I had 3 cups of coffee and now I am on my water and I am drinking that out of my coffee chat and a card cup.
I think I need to make me a coffee chat and a card cup today.
This was you switched to water too, huh, Charlene? This was a Mother's Day gift last year from my son's girlfriend. And I love it. She actually put different cards that I had made during coffee chat and a card or on my Thursday nights. So that's kind of fun. I've got some pictures of cards that I've created in the past. Some of them are really cute. No, I guess I'm really behind on my phone.
You are. It's all good.
Yeah, but I'm not on my computer, so I don't know why it is on my phone. Maybe you need to come over here and check my phone out. So anyway, isn't that cute? And ladies, I really am thinking that I am going to start offering some Suzie Q swag with my sublimation that I enjoy doing also when I'm not making cards. All right. So let me say that so far, I don't know what's going on with my phone, Dorothy. It's not updating like everything else is.
Let me see your phone. Must you have it plugged in?
No, I'll unplug it. Thank you. All right. So I can't honestly remember when I started doing a sketch card on Fridays with my coffee and chat. But it's been a while. It's probably been over a year. But I am up to sketch number. Today is my 30th sketch. Thank you. So if you've been following along with me, or if you've just started, this is just a little cheap photo album from the dollar store. It was easy, it was handy, and I could put a little cutesy cover on it that I wanted to, so I did some stamping. But I put each sketch card into an envelope, front and back. That one doesn't because I messed up. But anyway, and then I've got them numbered so that I know how many sketches are in this one little photo album. So it's a good idea if you want to keep the sketch cards that I show you. And if there's, a time that you say, hey, I wasn't watching way back when, could you give me some ideas for sketch cards? I certainly will. Most of my coffee chat and a card was done on Facebook, and they've deleted live videos after 30 days. And that's why I have switched to YouTube. So that's how I store my chats or my, you're going to switch me to your large TV. Oh, wonderful, Anna. I'm glad that I'm not on face camera. Okay. Let me explain, Patricia. I don't usually show my face. 2 reasons. One, it's hard for me to switch my camera. Okay. Because then I have to go through this whole rigmarole of trying to get it set back up and lined up. 2, I'm not really photogenic. And I guess the third reason is I haven't figured out how to do the picture in picture yet. We're still working on that. So anyway, technology. Every day I try to learn something new with technology. It doesn't always happen, but I do try. Oh, Anna, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I've never liked my picture. I don't know if it was because when I was younger, kids made fun of me. But anyway, I am who I am, and I love myself, but I just don't love being on camera except for my beautiful hands. And that's why I make sure that they are always done in pretty colors.
The main reason is because we can't figure out picture in picture.
Right. We can't figure out picture in picture. And to switch my camera, it is a hassle. All right. So, ladies, if you want to write down these measurements, or they are in the description below this live video, measurements for you. Okay. So our card base, of course, is the regular 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to score that at 4 1/4. And I know this is kind of hard to see because it's dark paper. When I'm doing my sketch cards, I use retired cardstock and retired designer series paper so that I'm not using my good stuff for just putting it in a notebook or in a little binder. All right, so that's what we have here is we just have a base. We don't do the whole card. We just use like a base card. And then I have a layer that is for by 5 1/4. So that's 5 1/4 by 4. I have 3 pieces of DSP, and these measure 1/4 of an inch across by 3 3/4 inches down. So we have those. And these kind of line up like this, but I'm going to switch this around in our design because I wanted the flowers on both sides. Then you've got 3 mats, and those measure 1 3/8 by 3 3/8. So those are going to go underneath each one of our DSP papers. Then we have a strip, and this was just a piece of scrap that I had. This is a 1/2 inch by 4 3/4 inches. So it's 4 3/4 by a 1/2. That's what we're going to stamp our sentiment on. And then we have a mat for that is 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And then I always date, well, I've started dating when I've done the sketch card online. So let's put this together real quick. And for this, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. Missed you last night, Patricia, on my live walkthrough. I was hoping that you would join us. I asked everybody then what their favorite adhesive was. We had Team Glue, and then we had several that they liked glue and the tape runner. So it's kind of a mix. And I'm just going to lay down my mat like so. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to lay those down on their perspective mats. And I know that a lot of people love to use a lot of tape runner. I don't find that I need to put whole strips down. I can just do little sections. Sometimes I can't talk and lay something straight. So we're going to just lay these down. You like green glue? I do too. I like both of them. Green glue is great. And I do use a lot more of it now that I have a precision tip bottle that I put it in. And I know you can buy them out on Amazon. I buy mine really cheap at Hobby Lobby because they're 2 bottles in a package for $1.98. Maybe it's 3 bottles. I can't remember. I didn't get this one on quite right, so we're going to peel it up and hopefully not rip the paper. And see about lining this up a little bit better here. So when you have just this 1/8 of an inch, you missed last night too, Charlene, but that's okay. As long as you've been checking out that catalog, that's a good thing. We just kind of discussed the different areas and how it changed from last year. So what is everybody's thoughts on the catalog this year versus last year? I know I, for one, really like it better. And Charlene, you're on the green glue team. You use art glitter. Is that a type of glue, Anna? I guess. I don't know. I really do like the green glue, and I just like it in the precision bottle. All right, we're going to go ahead and you haven't seen a catalog, Patricia? Have you got one? Are you a customer of someone? They should be supplying you with a catalog. Oh, it dries clear. Okay. So now I'm just going to lay down what I would be using as my sentiment strip. And now that I have all of my pieces down or on their mats, I am going to lay down my centerpiece. And I just eyeball this. If you want it to be precise, by all means, go ahead and do the measurements. But I failed math. No, not really. I just wasn't very good in math. I think now I understand algebra more than I ever did in high school. So that looks pretty good. Looks pretty centered on there. So we'll go ahead and lay these down. There's the center one. If you kind of start with the center one, then you can line up those two side ones. Because if you need to move them around a little bit, then you can. This is where the glue really does come in handy sometimes because you have a little bit of wiggle room. But we're just going to use this and eyeball it like so. You didn't like the catalog at first? Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot better from last year. All right, so now this is going to be our strip with our sentiment on it. These colors are Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent. They were in colors several years ago. Patricia, send me a private message or send me an email to SuzieQStamping@gmail.com and let's talk. Because if you don't have a catalog yet, do you have a demonstrator? If you don't have a demonstrator that's taking care of your needs, I would love to be your demonstrator. Oh, you don't have one? Well, Patricia, let me be your demonstrator. I would love to send you a catalog in the mail. Okay, so there is our sketch. Okay, again, girls.
Charlene wants to know if your center one's upside down.
No, it's not upside down. Yes, it is upside down. Good catch, Charlene. Goodness, what was I thinking? Okay, well, to make it look better, even in my little sketchbook, we'll take this part. Yes, it is upside down because the grass is going down instead of up. Okay, so let's turn this around. Such a good eye, Charlene. Such a good eye. That's what happens when I'm talking and placing. I don't even think they got really even, but they're good enough. This one needs to be. It looks pretty good. It's just an idea anyway, okay? So I'm not perfect. And then we're just going to put our label back there. So there is our sketch for today. Now I'm going to show you how to put together one that is really, really pretty using some product that we have in the online store. I am using Pretty in Pink cardstock. No, this isn't Pretty in Pink. Yes, it is. I always get Pretty in Pink and what's the other one that's pale pink? I can't remember. My mind is gone. Oh, I don't get mad. I should, it's like, yeah. All right. Yes, I have problems walking and chewing at the same time, and making cards live is a challenge sometimes for my brain. All right. I have a piece of basic white that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be our inside. I do have my 3 pieces of the designer series paper that are from the floral pack. It's listed in the description. Okay. Then I have some strawberry slush for our mats. I have strawberry slush and a piece of the basic white for my sentiment. And then to just give this card a bit more texture, I went ahead and embossed this with that plastered embossing folder. You can really see it since it's on white, but that's what we did. So let's go ahead and start by assembling our pieces. And I just took a strip of the paper that had the flowers going vertically and cut them out, and we will be able to piece these together. Make sure that I'm staying in camera. If I ever get out of camera, girls, yell at me if Dorothy doesn't already. And like I said, that 1/8 of an inch, man, sometimes that is just really hard for me to get lined up even. I don't know. It's probably the old eyes. All right, so there's one. And you can see, if I wasn't talking and I was just putting this together, I could do this in like no time. But talking and making cards, I have to concentrate on what I'm doing at the same time that I'm talking. There's 2 done. Now we got 1 more to do. And you could split it up and you could use the backside of this designer paper. Patricia, I can't remember. You're from
Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. I went through Alabama one time. I've always wanted to kind of go back to Alabama. I love the South. Okay. Now, because this is embossed, and I want to make sure that this adheres good to my card base, I am going to use my glue because it gets down into those crevices more. So I'm going to take and shake my glue down. And then I'm going to put glue on the back of this. And I always try to get as close to the edges without going too close. As you get better at doing this, you kind of know how close you can get without that glue oozing out underneath you on your paper. And I'm really trying to get into those little grooves that we have on this embossing folder. Because one thing that I don't want is that when I give this to a person and the recipients of my cards, is I don't want them to be able to tear them apart and find out how I did it. No, I don't care if they do that. So I'm going to put the painted texture with the biggest humps or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to put that going down. Make sure that this is straight. That's where the glue comes in handy because you do have a little bit of wiggle room that you can manipulate it. There we go. And I give that a good press on both sides. Lots of rural cities, huh? Oh, Patricia, I bet it is pretty. Everybody says, oh, or you'll hear people complain about where they live. There's always pros and cons. One of the pros where I live is we do have the 4 seasons. I love that. But one of the cons is I am in a tourist area. And so come Memorial Day, oh my gosh, we get out of towners and they drive like lunatics. I don't know what their problem is, but they drive like lunatics. Okay, I'm just going to kind of see if I can figure out which way this goes. Not that it really matters, but I did cut it and I was able to show it. Oh, here's this the one. Yep, that's the one. So that means that this one must be over here. No, it doesn't really matter. So we're not going to worry about it. So we're going to lay one here and one here and one here. Isn't it pretty already? I mean, I just love it. And again, because I'm putting this down, whoops, that's my outside one. I'm putting this down on an embossed piece. I'm going to use glue so that it really kind of squishes down into those grooves. And I don't have to worry about it. Whoops. I almost did an oopsie and put it upside down. I'm going to put that right there. Really press it down because, like I said, this embossing folder has a lot of bumps to it, which gives it some nice texture. But you want to make sure that whatever you're laying on top of it is secure. And now we'll lay this piece down. And like I said, I'm just eyeballing it, so get it as straight as you can. And if it is a homemade card or a handmade card, and you know what? Imperfection is part of the craft, I guess, because we all strive for perfection, but I don't know of too many people that are perfect. They might claim to be. I am not one of those. I am one of the realest people that you would ever meet. I love what I do, and I kind of figure if you like me, you do, and if you don't, you don't, and that's okay, because everybody has their choice. All right, I am coming in now with the stamp sets of the right words. We have our primary care doctor is leaving. She has some family medical issues with her mom and dad. And so she's having to leave her practice right now. And it really makes me sad. So I am going to make her a card. And on it, I'm going to have, I miss you already. And on the inside, I really don't like that you're leaving, but I hope you love where you're going. So that stamp, we're going to be using that stamp set. And then we're going to be using the pretty florals because I wanted to stamp a pretty flower on the inside. So let's get that started. Set that aside. And here is our greeting strip. And I am just going to take my silicone mat. And because the adhesive won't stick to this, I'm going to stick it down so that it stays in position for me to stamp on it and it doesn't shift for me. And I'm going to stamp it in the strawberry slush. Okay. And I'm going to try to get that in the center. Did you hear that? I'm going to try. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Whoops, we're not done with that yet. All right, now let's move on to the inside. And see, that's not going to stick to my silicone mat. I can pick that up. So we're going to leave that on there until it's time to stick it down to our paper. Make sure that I am doing this in the right orientation. All right, and I am using the pretty florals. So here we have the different stamps that we're using. And I'm using garden green for my stem and my stem and my leaves. We're going to go ahead and stamp our greeting first so that I kind of know where I need to place my flowers. And I think I'm going to, because this is a big bunch of flowers. Oh, did you see what I just did, girls? I just got ink on my paper and on my finger. Not to fear, baby wipes are here. I keep baby wipes for the precise purpose. And not to fear, but I can turn my card over like so. And then nobody will know that I had ink. Pinks and reds and the dark purples are my nemesis. They always seem to get on me, and then I always transfer them. So I'm going to put my greeting over here towards the right, just because I want my flower over here on the left. So I'm going to set that aside. What?
I'm going to set that aside.
Well, I am, because I want my green. And I'm going to come in with my stem and my leaves. And I am going full strength. And we're going to put this down here in the corner. Okay, there's our green. Move that. Now we're going to come back in with our strawberry slush. And we're going to use the flowers. That is this one right here with these inside centers. I really like those flowers. Those look so pretty. All right, and I'm going to stamp off my strawberry slush. You got chocolate in my peanut butter. Yeah, I remember that commercial. Okay. So I'm going to stamp off. I believe it was twice that I did. Yes. So I used the second generation. And see why these grid mats are so good? You can just stamp right on them and not have to worry about it. Okay, so there's my stamp off. Now I'm going to line this up the best that I can because it's not right under my face. And stamp that. I can tell it's already off, but that's okay. Not going to worry about it. Nothing to be too concerned with. And then I'm going to come in full strength with my little insides. Like I said, girls, when I do this, I don't necessarily have the camera to where it hampers me getting right up close and personal to my cards. Okay. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. That is just so springy. That strawberry slush cleaning chamois. Who remembers the commercial Where's the Beef and what restaurant it was for? I do. I mean, that thing played all the time. Made that restaurant, fast food restaurant, pretty famous, though. Your next stamps that you're going to get, yes, Charlene, it was Wendy's. That older senior citizen lady would say, "Where's the beef? Where's the beef?" All right, we're all done with those. Let's bring our card back in. We're going to go ahead and adhere this to the inside. See how I'm just kind of doing maybe 1-inch strips of my adhesive. So it's just not one just long strip.
So you're going hop, hop, not run, run.
Right. I'm going hop, hop, as Dorothy called it. All right. So this one's going to get laid down on the inside. That strawberry slush gives you so many options for your colors that you can do full strength or stamp off. Yes, the DSP is dainty. Now they do have some bigger designs in it, but overall, I personally am starting to look at designer series paper differently. I'm looking at it not as a whole 12 by 12 piece or a whole 6 by 6 piece. I'm trying to envision it as smaller bits so that I'm not looking at it going, "Ooh, I don't think I'm going to like that." But this paper was one of my favorites right away. All right, here we're going to attach our piece of white to our strawberry slush. And if you get a little bit of run over, you can always tuck that under. And that really isn't quite centered, but that's okay. We're gonna make this pretty anyway. Center that there. Got to give us a little bit more space at this side. The side that I always lay down first always seems to have more. All right. And because I'm going to hand deliver this, and you can do this even if you're going to mail it, but I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on my greeting so that it kind of pops it up. So I'm just going to put, let's see, where do I want this placed at? I've seen some other people doing this, and I think I'm going to try that because, oops, upside down. Silly me. All right. You don't necessarily want it on the very edge because then it's going to be kind of off-centered. But I know that it's going to go here, and I want one in the center, and then I want one over here. So you can kind of place these where you know you're going to place your, well, if I can get it off my fingers. where you're going to place that strip and then peel off your backings. This one I did not put my highlighter on so I could know when I took off the backings. And I'm just going to lay that down. That looks good. Just a little bit of that bottom showing. Now comes the embellishments. I love embellishments. Let's see. We'll use this. All right. So we have strawberry slush and white. And I think what we're going to do is we are going to do, let me know what you girls think. I'm going to use these darker pink ones, and I'm going to put one there and one here on that side. And then I'm going to take one of the larger ones and I'm going to put it over here. Okay. That way you can't really tell. Oh, thank you, Patricia. Yes, my hands are about the nicest thing about my entire body.
Oh, no.
I'm a 4'11" girl that's kind of heavy set. But I do love my nails. And so I treat myself twice a month to getting a pedicure. I mean, a manicure, not a pedicure. Manicure.
Since when do you
No, I don't get pedicures very often. Let me tell you all a secret, okay? Since we're talking pedicures. My granddaughter, when she was about, let's see, we've been doing our nails for 3 years. So she was about 11 or 12 years old. And I had very bad ingrown toenails. And so I finally just had them removed because I couldn't handle the pain when I would do walking and things. So she said, well, Nana, if you get a pedicure, do you get a discount because you don't have all 10 nails? You only have 8? I said, no, I don't get a discount. I said, I just fake it. So anywho, that's a fun little story about Suzie Q here. All right, let's move this. I know you're going to see a glare, but it's okay. So here's the sketch cards today. Let me know what you think about them. If you are not a member of my coffee, chat, and a card group on my Facebook page, request to join. And when you make this card, post it out in that group so that everybody can see what you've done. Well, I love to see how people's creations come out when they put a twist on it and they make the card their own. That's what I get excited about. So, yeah, Patricia, it is kind of funny. It's just one of those things, but yeah. So if you're not already a member, go ahead and go onto my Facebook page, which is Suzie Q Stamping. You have to ask a couple of questions or answer a couple of questions, I believe, and then I'll admit you into the group. That way it's a private group so that if you make a card and you're going to send it to somebody, they can't see it online before you send it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you spending the last 30 minutes or so with me. Do you have any questions for me? I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Patricia, and please, I will be more than happy to get a catalog on its way to you. You're welcome, Anna. You have a great weekend also. So please text me your address and I will get a catalog sent out to your way because everybody needs to have a catalog. And since you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator and I can connect with you via phone, email, Zoom, on my Facebook page. I do try to keep in touch with all of my customers any way that I can. All right. Well, ladies, if there are no questions or anybody has any more comments, we're going to sign off for the day. And I'm going to get ready to make next week's cards. All right, Patricia, I can't wait to hear from you. So you all have a marvelous weekend. Stay safe. Bye.